between said eyebrows. "Seen enough, princess." The giant's voice resonated to her very marrow, and she nearly shivered with the desire to climb him like a tree. She barely registered that he spoke English with an American accent. She didn't even take exception to the fact that he'd called her princess. That should hit a sore spot, but she wasn't about to let it. Now that she was single, she needed to store this kind of thing up for her spank bank. But she knew it was probably better if she said something sooner or later. Before that drool started from the corner of her mouth, and after memorizing the pattern of his chest hair. "Who are you?" "Who the fuck are you?" He reared back a bit and seemed to pull air with him. That's the only way she could explain following him into the foyer, pushing past his big body without spending too much time trying to cop a feel. Indeed, who the fuck was she? Trying to cop a feel of an angry giant. It might be time to admit that she was beyond needing spank bank material and right in the neighborhood of needing to get laid right now. "Where's Tia Lola?" "You mean Senora Hernandez?" "Do you ever answer questions without questions?" "Only when I get my questions answered, princess." "Stop calling me that." "Answer my questions." She'd had about enough of his bullshit, but she surmised that the best way to get her questions answered was to give him what he wanted. "Okay, no, I haven't seen enough because I've been sleeping with the same guy for 3 years, and he doesn't look nearly as good as you in boxer briefs, or at least he didn't before he dumped me." It felt so good to say exactly what was on her mind. With Jeff, she'd always had to watch her words. She took a breath and continued while he still looked taken aback. "I'm Carla Hernandez. Lola Hernandez is my father's aunt. I'm here to bring her something." She felt like a drug dealer carrying around this much money. But it was impossible to transfer American money to Lola's bank account in Cuba. She didn't want to say money, because while the giant appeared to be benevolent and had certainly made himself at home here, she couldn't be sure. "Now, who are you?" "Jonah Kane." Of course, he had to have a name that sounded like he looked. He appeared to be wearing boulders under his skin. Of course his name would be hard, like rock. "I'm here working on a book and I'm renting a room here." "You're a writer?" she asked, surprised. "I know some writers have crazy rituals to make sure things get done, but leaving the U.S. just to get away from reliable internet seems extreme." "I'm a photojournalist." That piqued her interest, but it seemed past due for him to put his pants on. For one thing, his body was going to give her a heat stroke-related seizure if she was exposed to it any longer. He was so hot it was starting to make her mad. For another thing, she could feel his judgmental glare and didn't like the way he said, "princess." It was an insult disguised as an endearment, and she didn't need that. "Can you please go put some pants on?" He leaned one hand on the banister of the stairway leading to the bedrooms with a sexy, cocky half-smile on his face. "Why?" "I thought you were getting a great show." Carla wasn't going to rise to the bait of a jerk like that. She'd grown up with 2 of them, both her father and brother were a handful. So she just pointed upstairs. "Pants now, unbearable ego later." Jonah stomped up the stairs, still cranky from his rude awakening. Mrs. Hernandez had told him her niece was coming for a visit. He wasn't sure what he'd been expecting, but it wasn't the woman who'd shown up at the door. He'd perked right up when she gave him a slow once-over, worrying that he'd have an inconvenient hard-on, one that he couldn't control for the first time in years. She wasn't his usual type. His last girlfriend, if you could call her that, had been a foreign service officer in Kenya. Shannon spoke multiple